What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about a very sad story that I saw this morning. It was about a University of Georgia offensive lineman by the name of Devin Willock. Devin Willock lost his life in a car accident, along with a female staffer by the name of Chandler, LeCroy. Now, they were traveling. It was also two other people. It was a male and a female. Both were part of the staff. Now, I've seen some people on social media coming to some making some insinuations about why they were traveling together. And listen, I'm not going to do that here. I'm mainly going to talk about the tragedy that is Devin Willock, who just a few days ago was on top of the world, winning the national championship with his teammates. Or less than a week ago, win a national championship, having the parade. That's why I'm playing this video here. This is Devin at the parade at the University of Georgia. And you go from this moment to this accident happening. Now, I'm going to get into the particulars of the story, but will we ever really know why this accident happened? Why two young individuals with their whole lives ahead of them, how they end up losing their life? Because Chandler LeCroy, see me on the right, she is a recruiting staffer. She was the one driving. So what happened? What could facilitate this accident happening to where two young people, Chandler, who's 24 years old, Devin, who's 20, lose their life like this? Now, again, I have thoughts, but I'm going to wait till more information comes out before I put those thoughts out there. But as far as, why they may have been together, but it's still a tragedy nonetheless. It's horrible what happened. Families are losing loved ones who are, well, I know he's in college. I believe she's a graduate. But this young man here, who, again, was a redshirt sophomore. He's a redshirt sophomore and had the potential to play in the NFL, and is no longer here. And this is not the news that you want to wake up to. This is not, this is not the thing that you want to see. Somebody who was on top of the world a week ago losing his life in a car accident. But let's get into this Fox 5 Atlanta article. It says Athens Clark County police say two people lost their life in a car crash early Sunday morning. The University of Georgia Athletics Department confirmed the victims are Georgia Bulldogs football player and staffer. Police said 20-year-old Devin Willock was a passenger in a Ford Expedition that crashed on Barnett Shoals Road. Police responded to the 900 block at around 2:45 a.m. Nothing good happens at around that time. Willock was dead at the scene. The driver of the car, 24-year-old Chandler LeCroy, died after an ambulance took her to a nearby hospital. LeCroy was a member of the Georgia football recruiting staff. Police said two others, a 21-year-old man and a 26-year-old woman, were seriously injured. The University of Georgia Athletics confirmed both injured people were also members of the football program. They're in stable condition. They said the entire Georgia family is devastated by the tragic loss of football student athlete Devin Willock and football staff member Chandler LeCroy. The two other members of the football program were injured in the accident. They are both in stable condition, and we will continue to monitor their status with medical personnel. Devin and Chandler were two special people who meant so much to the University of Georgia, our football program, and our athletics department. We ask that everyone keep their families in your prayers during this very difficult time. The UGA Athletic Association will work with our medical team as well as our mental health and performance personnel to make sure we are providing the best support possible for our staff and student athletes who are processing this grief. We can provide no further comment at this time, but ask that everyone continue to keep those involved in your prayers. Head football coach Kirby Smart expressed the football program's grief in a statement. Now, this is what Kirby Smart had to say. He says, "We are all heartbroken and devastated with the loss of Devin Willock and Chandler LeCroy. Devin was an outstanding young man in every way and was always smiling. He was a great teammate and a joy to coach. Chandler was a valuable member of our football staff and brought an incredible attitude and energy every single day. We grieve with their families for this tragic loss and will support them in every way possible." And that's according to Coach Kirby Smart. Says police didn't mention another car involved in the crash. Investigators determined the car was moving south in the outside lane on Barnett Shoals Road when the car left the road, it struck two poles and several trees. Wow. The football team celebrated its national championship victory on Saturday with a parade and ceremony inside Sanford Stadium. Willock was a redshirt sophomore offensive lineman from New Milford, New Jersey. He played in every regular season game, the Southeastern Conference Championship, and both college football playoff games for the Bulldogs. Yeah, this is sad in a lot of different ways. Now, I'm going to say this. You know, nothing good happens at 2:45 a.m. Nothing good happens. Now, we could say, you know, it was a early Sunday morning, so we know that they must have been at some sort of get together, some party. You know, was there some intoxication there? We don't know yet, but it's very interesting how out of nowhere this car goes from driving on the road to hitting two poles and also trees as well. It's like what happened? How did you lose control of the car? Like we have those thoughts in our minds, but nonetheless, you know, two young people lost their life. An absolute tragedy. And that's why, again, you know, a lot of times we have to look at the behaviors and things that are going on. Now, I'm not going to sit here and point fingers and play the blame game, but, you know, again, when you're out that late, that tells me that you may have been out drinking or partying, right? We have to ask these questions, people. We can't just not, you know, because it's going to leave a hole there. And we should, because two people lost their life and there are two people fighting for their life. So there does need to be answers here. Like, what could have happened? Did the car, was there some issue with the car? The families are going to want to know more. They're going to want to know how this could have happened. So those questions should be asked. I will hope there is an update, because a 20-year-old man with a bright future, redshirt sophomore, is no longer here. All the way from New Jersey. And he's gone just like that. Same thing with Chandler too. It's a young woman who was part of a football staff. You know, I've made videos about women in these football as football staffers on these colleges. I don't know if that's just a thing they're doing now. I don't know if they've always done it, right? I just find this situation real interesting, how she was a recruiting staffer, and I made videos about other recruiting staffers and issues, right? But in this situation, this was an accident. It was an accident, right? I don't want to have to speak on stories of situations with football recruiting staffers and players, right? This one to me is the most egregious out of everything that I spoke about, because two people lost their life. A young lady lost her life and a young man lost his life. And you have two others who are fighting for their life right now as well. Listen, we should not take life for granted at all. You know, I see people get up every single day and they have all of this like anger and bitterness towards the world. And I say to myself, why? You should enjoy the life that you have been given. Now, we're going to have good days and bad days, but you're here for a reason. You have a purpose. Go live it. Devin Willock did that. Chandler LeCroy did that. And you should do the same. Life is meant to be lived because you only get one of those. And there's no redo. There's no going back. There's no fixing. There's no I should have did. It's none of that. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to, you know, when the time that you're given here, you got to make the most of it because you never know when you no longer have it. And that's why it's incredibly important for people to understand. You got to let the nonsense go. You got to let the petty issues that you have go because you just never know when that's it for you. And the only thing that is left behind is grieving family. So let me stay in the comment section with let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rest easy to these two, and I'll see y'all next one.